All right, so here we have Bitcoin on Bybit on the 2-day. All right, what I want to point out is this bearish divergence. Um, so we have bearish divergence from this point and this point to this point right here. Bearish divergence is when you are making higher highs or higher lows on the RSI or a momentum oscillator, and you are making the opposite on the price action. So here on your RSI, which is a momentum oscillator, you are in the bearish control zone. You are below the signal line. We have entered the bearish control zone pretty recently. MACD coming back down, getting rejected from that zero line. Positive momentum is decreasing on the histogram right here. So as your BBWP, which measures volatility, is turning around from a very low read, the move has just started. Now, whether that continues down to the downside, which I think is a little more likely, or to the upside for a bounce, I do think we could bounce up to 22,500, but I don't see us really getting past there. In the bullish case would be that we do get back above there, but like I said, I really don't think we're getting above that, especially because the 2-day is like this. And like I said, we have bearish divergence, fresh bearish divergence, 2 drives. Here on the daily, looks like we're trying to find support on this POC point of control in the VPVR here to the right. What the VPVR is it measures horizontal volume at a certain price level. So here on the RSI for the daily, you are deep in the bearish control zone on the second tick. We did enter the bearish control zone with 1 tick deep into the bearish control zone. Okay, so to cross the signal line to the upside, you need to get back above 22,800, almost 22,900. Far away. But that 22,500 would probably propel us past that if we can get above there. But your MACD has a fresh cross of the zero line to the downside and a pretty fresh cross of the signal line to the downside. Negative momentum is increasing. Yeah, I mean, in order to even get above that signal line, you got to get above 26,720. Far, far away. To get above the zero line, you need to get above 22,230, which is possible, but kind of highly unlikely, to be honest. Your negative momentum is increasing on the histogram. So let's move down to the medium term time frames. Okay, so looks like we could be setting up for a tweezer top. Candle formation is when you have a red candle, green candle, and another red candle, basically the same size. It can also be inverse, and it would be bullish if it was inverse. RSI, deep, deep into the oversold region, and we have climbing our way out of it right now. Signal lines in the bearish control zone, not looking good, but we could get a bounce. MACD, pretty fresh cross to the zero line. Negative momentum is increasing sharply. I mean, we are below these last highs. So basically, we've broken the support on the histogram, but our negative momentum is waning just a little bit. All right, so your BBWP is printing a high read. We are in the upper zone above the moving average. So the volatility could continue. Unless this BBWP turns around, the volatility will probably continue. Now, we could get a bounce up to 21,800, where this 208-hour moving average is. But unless we get back above there, we're not going to get back to this purple zone. See, this purple zone comes in right where that 21 comes in. High, high level of resistance right there. I think that's where we would get rejected from if we can bounce up there. Let's move down to the 4-hour. So your 4-hour, you did get a bounce. RSI trying to work its way back into the bullish, bearish control zone. Looks like you're getting some resistance on the signal line right now. MACD trying to curl around from a very low read. Negative momentum is waning a bit. Volatility is very high. Your BBWP printed a dark red signal. It is turning around right now, so we could have some little consolidation here, either accumulation or redistribution. So we did have redistribution right here. We had that little bit of a bounce, crack back down, and if you notice, it's about the same measured move from here. Let's actually test this out. So almost, you found your support here, but you even broke below that. Not too good, not too good. The best we can hope for right now is a nice bounce. So here on the 1 hour, we also have bearish divergence, and I don't think it's played out just yet. But our best case scenario is that we get a higher low at 21K. MACD, pretty strong upside curvature, but your positive momentum's waning a bit. We need to get that printing more dark green bars in order to be bullish. Strong upside curvature on that MACD though. RSI, get out of there. Looks like you are trying to work your way up the bearish control zone. Might come back down for a retest of the signal line. If you cross that signal line, that is going to look like shit. BBWP, consolidating a bit below its moving average, working its way down to the lower zone. Like I said, you could probably consolidate here for a while. You are being held down by the 21 right now. So we need to get back above the 21, possibly get to the 50. If we can get above 22K, I do think we come up to the purple zone and this 100, which your 100 would most likely get there by the time you work your way up to that purple zone. All right, so basically the bullish case is that you get above this purple region at 22,600. Highly unlikely. But I mean, you could. Best case scenario, I think, is that you get back above or get back to 23,600, which I don't think is very likely. If you do, I would not think that it would get past that. That would also imply that we get all the way into the bullish control zone from here. We need to stay above 21K in order to stay above that signal line. You cross that signal line, you're probably going to make a lower low. You need to make a higher low here to have any chance of crossing that 21 to the upside. And that would also imply that you work your way up to these last lows, support turn resistance on the MACD, and your BBWP gets back above its moving average. Bearish case is that you break this last low. If you break that last low, next stop, 19K. And that would be what I'd be looking at, and that would also imply that you cross your signal lines to the downside. RSI gets down to the bottom of the bearish control zone, come down to this purple region, probably get a nice bounce from there. That'd be a pretty nice potential trade right there, I think. I think you would get a massive bounce from the purple region at 19K. Basically, these last lows. I mean, you could have a major bounce there, major bounce. And that would be what I'd be looking at right there. So if you guys are liking this video so far, like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the links in the description below, one being the Discord. Check out the Discord. We have a lot of good conversation about trading crypto and investing there. So most of the time we stay so much ahead of the curve that we get the moves right before the video even comes out. We work together to stay ahead on top of this market and stay ahead of the curve. So shout out to everybody in the Discord. We have stayed ahead of this curve ever since for months. For months. We were ahead of this move right here. Most of us got out at this point as soon as we broke this trend line in this red zone. We saved ourselves from all this pain. So definitely join the Discord. Let's move on to Ethereum. Ethereum, similar story. We kind of front ran this purple zone right here. I would expect us to come back down to the low, possibly make a double bottom, come back up to this VPVR level right here in this purple line at 1700. I mean, we were talking about this level ever since we broke 1900. When we broke 1900, we were talking about 1600. RSI right now, come on, get the fuck out of here. All right, so RSI coming back down to the signal line. You're going to have major support here. You need to stay above 1620. So your 1620 is going to be where this signal line is. You're going to have major support there, I think. MACD, fresh cross to the upside of the signal line. Strong upside curvature. Positive momentum is increasing. The MACD is looking pretty good. But it looks like you could come back down. Possibly make a higher low. Come in for the double bottom. Maybe get up to this purple region at 1700. Your 50 would probably work its way down by the time you get there, so that's going to be major resistance. BBWP is in the upper zone, but it's below its moving average, so we could consolidate here. That's why I kind of think we're going to come back down to this low, possibly to the purple region. I do think we'll get a bounce soon. I do think that, but I don't think it's going to be that big of one. I think we don't get our bounce until Bitcoin gets down to 19K. Our major bounce. So yeah. One more thing. Bullish case would be that we get back above 1700 in this 50. If that happens, I do think we come all the way up to 1800 and this 100 moving, 101 hour moving average. I don't think we get above there though. That would also imply that your MACD gets back up to these last lows. So you got support here. It's going to be turned resistance. And your RSI would get out of the bearish control zone, come up here to this neutral line. As your BBWP stays in the upper zone and crosses its moving average. Bearish case is that we break this purple zone. I would expect us to come all the way back down to anywhere, somewhere around 1350. We break 1350, $1,000 all day. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm looking at for Ethereum. Let's check the daily on Ethereum. So we could make, oh, hold on here. Hold on. Did we make a higher low or a lower low? All right, we are right on the bottom right now. Right on the bottom. Let's see what this closed at. Okay, so we have a closure of 1608. Wow, it's the exact same. 1608.72, 1608.16. We have a higher low by a few cents, which is pretty crazy. So it is a higher low, and we would have bullish divergence. So if we could get up to 1700. On the daily, we are riding the top of the bearish control zone. Oh, we did get in it. If we get rejected from the top of the bearish control zone and break this last low on the RSI, that's going to look bad on the daily. Fresh cross to the downside on the daily. Negative momentum is increasing as your BBWP gets above that moving average, gets into that upper zone. This is not looking good. All right, on any asset, well, Bitcoin and Ethereum so far, and just the crypto market in general. I mean, we're not looking good. We're being held down by the 50 right now. 21's curling over. 50's even going flat right now. I mean, we have support on this purple zone where your 100 is going to be sitting. We're going to have major support there at 1560. I mean, we come down to 1560 in this 100 and then bounce up to that 1700 level. But that would still be a higher low. By that time, this 21 is probably going to work its way down to 1700. Major resistance there. Yeah, I mean, let's go down to the 1 hour, talk about the bullish and bearish case. Well, actually, we already did. Let's move on to Solana. Solana bouncing right off our trend line. Solana, we have stayed right on the pulse of Solana. If you've been following us and you've been in Solana, you have made money. I mean, we have got this asset just about exact for months. Very, very close to the market on this. RSI, getting rejected from the neutral median line, coming back down for the signal line. Looks like we're going to find support here. If we can cross this zero line, I think we work our way up to this bullish control zone, which would work our way up to the bottom of this red zone right here at 39.58, between there and 14.25, where this 100 is. So we did make a lower low and a lower high, being held down by the 21. If we make a lower low and get deeper into the bearish control zone, cross these signal lines of the RSI and the MACD, which we are having some positive momentum waning right now, that's not going to look good. I would expect a bounce from this trend line at 34.70, but ultimately I think we get another bounce at 31.50 and come all the way down to $21, $21.50 to $21. So brutal move. That would also imply that we get back below this last low, actually this last low on the MACD. So get your cross to the downside of the signal line, start printing some dark red bars on the histogram, get the lower than this last low on the histogram. You know, that's what would start cascading us down past these levels. Your BBWP is below its moving average and in the lower zone, so we could get a level of consolidation right now, making slowly lower highs, lower lows. I mean, we could even be in a channel right here. Let's see here. Some sort of channel. Or a, actually, yeah, if we start making lower highs at this trend line, we're going to be in a descending triangle, which would lead us below this trend line. So that would not look good. Let's see where this measured move would lead us at. Basically right down to that purple zone that we got. All right, so definitely pay attention to this trend line right here. And if we can break that, though, I think we get a small rejection from the 50, come back down, retest that pattern, come to the red zone at 39.50. All right, so that is basically what I'm looking at. I don't think we get back above the 100 at 40.25 and the bottom of this red zone. I think that's best case scenario for the bounce, and then we continue to make new lows. All right, so if you guys like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. Show your support, get notified with this time-sensitive content, and everyone have a great morning, great afternoon, great evening, and I will see you tomorrow.